What's up, everybody? It's Keith at Vitality Sports Solutions. Today, we're talking sound strategies for sustainable weight loss. So let's get into it. Step one, you got to know your maintenance calories. So calculating your maintenance calories is the first step. Maintenance calories are the amount of calories you would intake to stay exactly the same. So your body weight wouldn't go up, body weight wouldn't go down. You'd stay right at neutral. From there, what I do is I place most of my clients, my weight loss clients, on a 200 to 300 calorie deficit. Number one, it's sustainable. It's a moderate deficit. It's easy to maintain over a long period of time, which will kind of reduce the likelihood of you feeling deprived. And hopefully you don't experience significant hunger. I mean, there will be a little bit, but when you get those signs, those feelings of real significant hunger, that's when people start to binge and overeat. So sustainability, number one. Number two, muscle preservation. So a smaller caloric deficit will help preserve some lean muscle mass compared to like a more aggressive cut, especially because we will be training, right? All of my weight loss clients are really stressed that they need to exercise. You need to be strength training. You need to be focusing on building muscle as well as losing fat. And number three, for the smaller deficit, the reason for the smaller deficit is energy levels. When you take these huge, big cuts, these 500, 1,000 calorie deficits per day, your energies levels are typically just going to tank. So if we keep it at 200 to 300 calories below maintenance, we'll be able to preserve some of that energy, which we need, to get us through our day. A lot of my clients are parents and have full-time jobs, and they can't just be wasting away in these huge caloric deficits. Next, let's get into the duration of the deficit. I recommend that my clients follow that continuous caloric deficit for about 12 to 16 weeks. This will allow noticeable fat loss, but it's not going to be overly taxing on the body. We'll also implement diet breaks for about 1 to 2 weeks, about every 8 or 12 weeks or so, depending on how long we're working on it. A diet break does not mean you get to eat whatever you want and go off the walls. We just bring your calories up to maintenance. So you're eating that additional 200 to 300 calories that we were deficiting in the beginning. Diet breaks don't work for everybody. Not everybody enjoys them. Some people just like the continuous deficit. And if that's you, great. But if you feel like you need a break, after 2 months or so, it's fine to take a week or 2 weeks and just eat at maintenance. Okay. And then the other thing we want to focus on is monitoring our progress. So you can do it a couple different ways. You can track your weight. Obviously, that's a decent metric in the beginning. It will get a little skewed as you start really dropping fat and start building muscle. You will see some kind of plateau there. You also will see some undulation, but generally, if you're tracking your weight and the trend is going downward, you're doing okay. You can do measurements in the beginning or every couple of weeks, right? Body measurements using a tape, or take pictures. Pictures seem to be a good way for you to look back and see kind of where you started. When you look at yourself every single day, you don't necessarily see all the changes that your coach would see or your friends would see. So having some pictures from when you began is a great way to kind of check in on yourself and make sure everything is going as it should. From there, once you hit your level of fat loss or weight loss that you're happy with, if you want to start building muscle, you can start to reverse diet and transition into muscle building, which would be a whole separate post. Most of my personal training clients are generally trying to lose fat, lose a little bit of weight, and get their energy back up while they're starting or maintaining a fitness program. So smaller caloric deficit stretched out over a longer period of time, just more sustainable, promotes a healthy relationship with food, right? I'm not telling you which foods you can eat, which ones you can't. And then obviously we're pushing exercise. So it's a very healthy, sustainable way to lose some weight. Give it a try. Feel free to ask if you have questions. I'm happy to go a little bit deeper into any of this stuff. This is just kind of a very surface level conversation. So yeah,